guys, good morning. You guys are currently sitting on my keyboard. It's been a while since I've been on YouTube, since I uploaded a video really. And that is because I'm just gonna make this short and quick. I've been going through a lot in the month of February. Been dealing with a lot of grief and then some health issues, but thank God, thank you Jesus. Praise God that I'm well now and I'm healthy. I'm getting stronger every day. And that is why we are going to go on a mission. And that is to finish book series that I've started. And here's the thing, okay? This year I have made it my goal to finally read Throne of Glass series. That's one of the series that I really want to read this year, and also the Addicted Calloway Sisters series, because those two series have been talked so much last year and I've been wanting to read them for the longest time, especially the Addicted series, because I've heard that it's somewhat like Magnolia Parks, so I'm very excited to read that. And Throne of Glass has just been, you know, a lot of people have been reading it last year. I saw Sarah Caroli read it, Destiny read it, and then Haley also finished reading the series. I'm so excited to read that series sometime soon, just because I know how much I love Sarah J. Maas's writing. I haven't really finished the ACOTAR series, so I'm not so sure how this video is gonna go. It's probably gonna be a part series. I'm not so sure how many parts there will be, but I do have a couple of book series that I have not finished yet for sure. And there are some series that I only have like 1 or 2 books left in the series, but then there's also the series with like 5 books and I've just read the first book, so that's gonna be a little bit challenging. Probably that's going to be in another video so that this one's not going to be prolonged. And so let's take you guys to my bookshelf. I'm trying to talk about the series that I currently have on my bookshelves, series that I have not yet started, series that I've started but not yet completed, and series that I have successfully completed. So first we have the Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I've not yet started the series yet, that's why I only have the first book. Then we have the Inheritance Game series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I successfully finished that series back in 2022. That was also my first ever series. So next up we have Dance of Thieves by Mary D. Pearson. This is a duology and I already have the first book, but I have not yet picked it up and read it. I don't know when I'm gonna read it. Then we have Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I read this book back in January and I have not yet picked up the second book, even though the second book did come out I think last year, around the end of last year. So probably I'd like to pick up that book sooner or later so that I can finish off a duology and finish up and close a series. The Once Upon a Broken Heart series by Stephanie Garber. So I read the first book back in April, the second book I read back in October, and I think the third book, which is A Curse by True Love, came for Christmas. So I'm currently reading that book right now. I just have the dust jacket right here because I love displaying it with all the colors right next to the ACOTAR series, so I think it's very pretty. Next up, the ACOTAR series, which I have not yet completed either. So right here are the first 3 books in the series. I've completed all of these back in the summer of 2023, and I'm thinking about picking up the novella and the 4th book, which is A Court of Frost and Starlight and A Court of Silver Flames. Moving on, we do have the Magnolia Parks universe series that I have successfully completed as of this year. Well, at least the books that are already out, because we still have a couple of other Daisy Hayes books in the working by Miss Jessa Hastings. I am excited for those books. We have, I think I heard that we have 2 more Daisy Hayes books, so I'm excited about that. Read the first book back in April last year. Daisy Hayes I read back in July, and then we got The Long Way Home that I read in September. And then, this is the thing, I stopped reading at The Long Way Home. Haven't picked up another Magnolia Parks book because it was pretty intimidating for me to pick up Daisy Hayes' The Great Undoing, even though I know that a lot of people have been saying that that's probably their favorite book within the series. but I think I'm more of a Magnolia Parks girly than I am a Daisy Hates girl. So I finished Magnolia Parks Into the Dark last month in February, and then right after that I decided to pick up Daisy Hates the Great Undoing just to kind of wrap up the series. But that concludes the entire Magnolia Parks Universe series. Right next to the Magnolia Parks Universe series, we have my favorite series ever, which is the Knockout series by Lucy Score. These 3 books I have successfully read and completed back in 2023. We have Elsie Silver's The Chestnut Springs series. The reason why it's incomplete. I read the first book back in June. I never picked up the rest of the books until I decided to get Heartless. And I'm pretty sure after I'm done reading A Curse for True Love, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into Heartless. I'm gonna try by reading Heartless first, and then we'll see from there. Next, we have the Summer I Turned Pretty series right down here. I've completed the series last year when I decided to read romance books for the whole month of February. Last but certainly not least, we have the Dreamland Billionaire series, which I do not have the rest of the books either. I started the fine print back in June. I got it for my birthday from my best friend, and I have not yet picked up the rest of the books. So my intention for this entire video is to finally finish off some of the series that I have been putting off finishing. Mainly, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 series, guys. I know it's not really that many amount of books, but like honestly, we have like one more book, so that's 2. 2 more books, which is 4. 4 more books, which is 8, and 2 more books, which is 10. We have 10 more books to get through to finish all the series that I've started. That's gonna be a challenge, so stick around, you guys. We're starting off with our first book for this video, and that is A Curse for True Love. Finally made it to page 300. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm on page 300. We have a couple more pages to go. Let's finish this book. So sorry for leaving you guys hanging for the longest time. Listen, it has been a rough month for me. These last 2 months have been so hard on me, and I just do not have the brain power or the mental energy to pick up the camera and talk. But I will say with certainty that I have finished 2 books in this. I finished 2 books for this video, and I'm very excited to tell you guys how I feel about these books. And we're in the end of this video, so might as well talk about these books, but I am saving the ratings for my monthly wrap-up, so be on the lookout for that video coming soon. But first off, we have A Curse for True Love that I finally finished. I can for sure say that this is my favorite book from the series. First of all, let's appreciate how beautiful the cover is. Honestly, this is the most beautiful cover I have on my bookshelf. I don't have a lot to say about this book. All I can say is that this is definitely my favorite out of the 3 books in the series. Like, I still love the world that it's set up in. It's very fairy tale-esque, as I said, and I feel like a little kid reading this book. And so I'm just really happy that I got through this book, and I'm so happy that I loved the ending of the book. The significant difference that I felt while reading this book, other than the last 2 books from the series, is that this one kind of feels a little bit more faster. This because I really didn't realize how much I was eating this book up, rather than when I was reading the first 2 books, because probably the first book is a lot of world building, and that's kind of why it took a lot longer for me to digest the whole story. The second book I didn't really pay much attention because I was super busy back then, and so didn't really focus on the story, but I did loved it. And this one, I loved it so much. I'm just glad when I read the ending, I was just like shuffling through it, and I was just like, oh, this is good, this is good. And so first book is done. We move on to the second book, which is Heartless by Elsie Silver. This is the second book in the Chestnut Springs series. I just finished this today, and let me tell you that this book is kind of thick, and I didn't think I would finish it within, how long have I read this book? Approximately 3 to 4 days. It took me 3 to 4 business days to just finish this entire book. I don't know what it was about this book, but it was really easy for me to read, probably because it's a romance book and it requires less brain power. And I just love romance books that just requires no brain power, so I could just like shut off my mind for a second and just focus on story. And so I loved it. I've seen a lot of people say that they don't like kids in books, but so far the kids that I've read in books have been adorable, and maybe it's just me, I don't know, but I have a soft spot for kids. I don't know why. I'm not really a big kid person. I can't say that I'm good with kids, but I do have a soft spot for kids. So actually in this book, Luke was so cute. I feel like he was like the cutest 5-year-old ever. I just love Willa in this book. If you guys didn't know, this is the second book in the Chestnut Springs series. As I said, the first book we follow Rhett, Ethan, and Summer, and in this book we follow Rhett's brother Kate that has a son named Luke, and we follow Summer's best friend named Willa, who is a big city girl, and she goes to Chestnut Springs in order to help babysit Luke for Kate. And we love this. It really reminds me of that TV shows back in the 90s, The Nanny, which I loved. It was one of my favorites, honestly. And in this book, Willa is just a breath of fresh air. I really just love her carefree spirit, her wild city girl life. It talks a lot about how insecure she is about herself, about how her family is a family of overachievers, and then there she is, one of the people in her family who is just like carefree but is very independent. And I really feel like it speaks to me in a way that not a lot of people understand. Because the thing is, I've been a very anxious person ever since I was young, and I've always been afraid of failure. And in this book it just kind of talks about that, and then like, you know, how it really just like shows me how like things just work out, you know. And it just like reminded me in the moment that like, you know what, let go, let God's gonna take care of you, it's gonna be fine, and just trust the process. And I don't know why I'm rambling on, but I love this book. It was a fine read, very fast-paced again, and like I said, this is the second book in the series. I feel like I really want to pick up the third book, which is Powerless. And in Powerless we follow their friend Jasper, and their cousin, what's her name, Sloane. So I'm very excited to dive into this world again very soon. I don't know when I'm gonna pick up that book, but for now I can say that I have concluded 2 books for this video, which will be divided into a couple of parts, I'm pretty sure. But that's it for today's video. So I'll see you guys on my monthly reading wrap up. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Goodbye.